Hey everybody, it's Old School Nerd. Welcome to the last day of the rest of my life? No. I'm not dying. I swear, it was just a joke. Hey everybody, it's Old School Nerd. And this is the last week of 2022. 2022 has been an amazing year for me and my family and my community here on Old School Nerd. Now, I just want to give you guys a little shout out as to things that are going to happen this week and what the future holds in 2023. And there are some big changes coming. The first of which is I'm over here. It used to be over there, but now I'm over here. And when I do reactions, the box won't be here. It'll be over there. While all of you were unwrapping presents and pulling stuff out of old socks for no reason and eating lots and lots of food and watching football, and or if you're like Conan from Malevolence, he got home and decided to go take a hike in the Highlands and froze his balls off. Go check out his post on Instagram. Guy's insane. But he's fun. That's why we love him. But anyway, let me digress. Chelsea and I have been hard at work for the last 24 hours, which is why you didn't see a lot of posts from me yesterday, converting this area into a new studio for 2023. Let me give you a quick tour, and we're going to move on to the things that are changing and the stuff that will never change on Old School Nerd. First up, the wall of bands. You guys have seen these plates before. It started with Liliac 2 years ago, then Ginger, and then all the way through. We have Dragon Force, Lauren Babbitt, Halocene, Violet Orlandi, Firewind, Visions of Atlantis, Seven Spires, Sabaton, Bloodywood, and Malevolence, which was our last one. Now, we do have a couple of plates that are still coming in. When they come in, they're going to go right here, and this stuff's going to get moved down. I intend to fill this whole wall all the way around. Why? Because I love music, and I love meeting these amazing bands. And if a band wants me to, when I meet them, if they want to sign a plate so it goes up on the wall for reactions, I'll be more than happy to give them a plate every time. Below that, one of two 3D signs that was created by Jason S. Designs. He's a guy in Oklahoma, great friend of my channel. Him and his wife Tamara, awesome people, and he's a very creative gentleman. He does metal fab work. He created this out of an old heater box. It's a Napalm Records light up sign. It actually does light up. Ping. Up here, this one is the original. He actually made that. I posted about it today. He made it for me in celebration of 50,000 subs, and we're a little bit beyond that now, but that will stay up there as long as I have a channel. And for that, Jason S. can go, I made that. And it will always be there because it's one of the best things I've ever seen. He actually made it out of a circular housing and the front and back panel of a furnace. Laser cut with my logo and backlit. 3D. Awesome. Right here is a gift from my fiance Chelsea, maybe, and my kids 2 Christmases ago. It's my dog Chewy. His head is on top of a Prussian Field Marshal's uniform. Yeah, it's a classic. Next to that, I am their father with all my kids' names in lightsabers, which of course is touching to me. Next to that is my VIP lanyards. I have Dragon Force, I have Ginger, and I have a Big Daddy Weave one from a couple of years back. And next to that is the Sabaton Altar of Homage. It's got the model of the HMS Hood one of you sent me. The Sabaton Bismarck Collector's Edition album right there. That was also sent to me by one of you. Thank you, Mike. And of course, the from Nuclear Blast label, the little piece of the Red Baron Kobe set from the Sabaton Great Tour little building block set that we put together. You go over here to the shelf now. Up top, we put all of our Transformers. Optimus Prime is up there, Starscream, Shockwave, and a new LED neon Atari sign that my kids and Chelsea gave me for Christmas. Awesome. But just below there is going to be the Star Wars shelf. That's where we have our Boba Fett mask, our Lego Boba Fett that Berserker King reviews sent to us. All of our Legos from Star Wars is on that shelf. Below that is going to be our D&D shelf. Got all of my books, my Heroes Feast from D&D, because we're still going to be doing those every Thursday night. And right there, one of my favorite pieces of my room that's never going to go away because it's from my dad. Back in the 1960s, my dad was in the Navy and he was a diver before he joined Special Operations and was on a boat crew. And when he got out of the Navy in the 1970s, he went back to an island in the Solomon Islands, which even after World War II, it was used as a naval base for both Japan and the United States. During the war, certain things occurred and there was debris in the main channel of the island. So fishing vessels were always getting hung up and their fishing nets were always getting caught up, and it was a problem. My dad and one of his friends, one of his fellow naval divers, when they were retired from the Navy, went out as civilians, visited the islands, and helped clear the channel. And in doing so, they actually had a tree that had fallen on the island, and they took the trunk, split the trunk in half, carved two tiki faces on them, gave one to my father, and the other half went to his friend. When my father passed away, he gave it to me. And it's a treasured memory about helping others, doing something that you learned in violence and in war, and then using that skill to help someone else recover. And I use that as something to kind of remind me where I come from and how I should treat people. Treat people as you would yourself. Now, let's talk about the things that are coming up next year that are going to be changing. Okay, let me tell you the things that are going to be changing, and then I'm going to tell you the things that are going to be staying the same. First up, big changes. We're going to be starting to do what's referred to as a roast day. One video a week, we're going to try to do a roast of your favorite band or video. Now, these roasts are not designed to insult people, disparage people, or do anything but have fun. If I do a reaction to a Ginger video, because one of you want, and you go, hey, could you roast this? Yeah, I'll have fun with it. I'll talk about how Vlad is the best piano player I've ever seen in a metal band because he is a classically trained pianist and he plays drums. The fact that Eugene, the bass player from Ginger, looks like a Jason Momoa, if Jason Momoa was from the Justice League of Ukraine, yes. And would I make fun of Tatiana? No, I'm not stupid. And so on and on and on. And we'll do it with any band because it'll be fun. Another thing that'll be changing is every once in a while, I will be doing videos similar to a lot of other YouTube creators where we talk about the changes in concerts, bands, the industry, and our experiences as YouTube creators in this crazy reaction world, and how our interactions with labels, distributors, and bands affects our business model, and how you see concerts and venues and albums in the coming weeks and years. Those talks will happen. Now, all those will be completely honest, and that's just the way it's going to be. Another big change is I'm going to limit the number of videos that I'm making just like this, recorded in my room with nobody watching. I'm going to start limiting that. A big change in 2023 is I'm going to start doing most of my reactions on twitch.tv/oldskulenerd. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go to Twitch to see this. That just means that I've always had the moniker of 100% real reactions, real mistakes, which means I've always done my reactions live in one take without seeing the video ahead of time. Some people know that it's true because a lot of you have watched me do it. Some of you still think that I'm faking all of this. Well, that's okay. You can come watch me do it live on twitch.tv/oldskulenerd, which is kind of fun because a lot of you challenge me. That's why you guys love to donate to my channel and make me do a reaction on the spot live. If I don't know what's coming, how can I prepare for it? A lot of our reactions are going to be done on twitch.tv in front of a live audience so you guys can enjoy it live on Twitch before it gets uploaded to YouTube. It's just fun. That's one of the changes. Another change is going to happen. We are going to continue the up-and-coming band focus on Saturdays, but now it's going to be, there will be no reactions on Saturday that do not meet the requirements of up and coming, which means if Sabaton releases a brand new song and everybody's begging me to react to Sabaton or Bloodywood or Ginger or name the band on the wall, won't do it because they won't qualify for up and coming Saturday. Up and coming Saturday will be completely for independent, up and coming, young, new bands or bands that have a small following or no label or no one helping them out, because I want to reaffirm and push for more of that. I feel like it's my way of giving back. So many of you have blessed my family. So many of you have asked, hey, can you do all this other stuff? Can you help us here and here and there? Yeah, let's do it. We've played with it in 2022. A lot of you, I have more people talk to me about, are you doing up and coming stream? Are you going to do the up and coming stream this Saturday? Are you going to do it? How can I not? So now we're going to make sure all of it on Saturday is up and coming. Sundays might be those days where you start seeing those videos that are going to be a little bit off, where, you know, I talk about things that I don't like, or things that I'm finding concerning, or things that I just find kind of off. You're going to see a little bit more of that. We're also going to try to do a little bit more comedy. Like I said, the roasts, I'm going to be reacting to more comedy videos as well, because I just want to try to start diversifying the content here on the channel. However, it will always be first about reactions. Now, coming this week, we have a best of 2022. Starting tomorrow, what made me laugh the most this year? You can expect to see a little bit of Deerstalker pictures in there and a few other videos this year that just made me just lose my mind. The next day, I'll be talking about some of my favorite bands of the year, both label signed and those that are independent. And I'll be talking about my favorite moments live in concert. Well, that'll be on Wednesday. On Thursday, what are my top 5 albums released this year? My list will be a little different than most people, but I have 5 that impacted me in a way that they're still on my playlist every day, and I don't think they're ever going to stop. And then on Friday of this week, one of the biggest videos I've ever done. I can't tell you anything about it yet, but once I get the okay to do so and I share with you, it's something that I've been waiting to do for 2 years. 2 years I've been waiting to do this, and it might actually happen. Don't spoil it for me and don't jinx me. Shh. Okay. Saturday on New Year's Eve, we're going to be up and coming, and we're going to be sharing our up and coming favorite up and coming bands from this year that we discovered this year. Bands from Australia and New Zealand and right here in the US and Canada and of course in Europe. We're going to go through those on Saturday. Sunday is New Year's Eve, the start of 2023. I have no idea what I have planned for that. So this is where you actually engage. How do you do that? Now, before I go, let me talk about how the channel works. We have a YouTube channel. We also have twitch.tv/oldschoolnerd. A lot of the YouTube is going to stay the same, where we keep producing content, reaction videos, funny videos, roasts, so on, like we've always done. But like I said, I'm going to start recording all of that on twitch.tv. So try not to miss those live streams. We're going to have at least 3 a week so you guys can see those happen. Patreon. I have 4 layers of my Patreon. Depending upon the layer you want, the first layer, $1 a month, gives you access to all of our behind the scenes content and early access to videos that I post up there. The levels above that are self-explanatory. That's when you start seeing members' names scrolling across the screen on Twitch streams, and of course the tag at the end of this video and all other reactions. It's those lists of certain level Patreon members. So there's different ways to engage. For those who want to know, Old School Nerd, I have a video. I want it to be reacted to. What's the best way to request? Well, doing it live on Twitch always helps. That way I can't ignore it and you're there to see me do it. If you message me on Instagram, it's helpful. If you message me on Facebook, I rarely check my Facebook, I'll be honest with you. One of the best ways to engage with me is on Patreon, because I'm required to read every message on Patreon because I committed to it. You're part of the family when you're on Patreon. That's just the way it is. Those are just some of the things that are coming up in 2023, some of the amazing things that are going on this week, and a few of the things that have changed. Before I go, let me say this one phrase, and I've said it all year long, and I mean it every time I say it. And right now it means a lot. Love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. My name is Old School Nerd, and my family and I thank all of you for an amazing 2022. And let's hold on to our butts in 2023. Remember that thing I told you about, that layer in Patreon? This is where that happens. Well, right here. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right there. Big thank you to all my Patreons out there. We appreciate everything you do. If you want more content like this video, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.